Well, hello, and welcome to ZBrush Live. And this is Kermaco Mech Design, and yeah, we are going to get started in a few minutes. But just like before, please let me know if you can hear me okay and you can see my screen. Like, subscribe, do all the internet things, and also leave a comment. We look at those and appreciate them. And also, if you have questions, you can ask them during the stream. And if we don't get back to you during the stream, you can always leave them in the comments, and somebody hopefully will get back to you at some point. Okay, so with that, I think we're seeing that you can hear me perfectly, Mac, on Twitch. Thank you. Somebody on YouTube, if you could chime in as well. I think if it works on Twitch, it works on YouTube, but let's make sure. I don't know if anybody's watching on Facebook, or I think it's just three services we're streaming on. So yeah, let us know. And in the meantime, I'm going to take this screen off. And here we go. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, if somebody from YouTube watching can let us know. Okay, here we go. YouTube. Okay, great. Jaguar, thank you. And Tim, yes, happy holidays to you too. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're still working on this guy. I had a few minutes before the stream, so I did a few things, just added a few pieces over here. And I think I kind of added the pieces for the belt. I kind of had this thing going on over here, which I didn't really like, so that's gone. So today we are going to kind of finalize some of the details here. I want to kind of, let me get rid of this floor. I'm going to see if I can maybe flush out this area just a tad more, and then also maybe make some better boots. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and take these ones right over here, and let's take a look at them, solo them out. I don't think I have any thickness to them. And let's see what the topology is like. It's pretty simple. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to zero mesh these at a lower rate so I can get something kind of less detail-y that I can build back out from. So I'm just going to go to half here and just continue to zero mesh down. It's going to conform to the topology, but at some point it's just going to simplify it. This is exactly kind of what I want. I could probably go one more. Okay, there we go. And then let's bring everything back. And then, by the way, I'm using the Sense Labs tablet again. And, or not the tablet, I'm sorry, the pen display. And so that's why I've got this kind of funky glove on. It comes with one, but I had this one from before. And I don't know where the one that comes with it is. I think my cat might have hidden it somewhere. So when I find it, I'll go back to that one. But this is a Doki one that I had before. So I'm just using that one. All right. Let me move my reference over here so I'm kind of have something to work from. And I'm going to just kind of get started on the boots first and then move on to something else. I'm just going off of a couple of concepts of boots that I have, and then we'll just kind of go on from there. And I haven't decided whether I want these boots to be high up. I think maybe, yeah, about the length that they are, maybe a little bit higher. Like so. Hi, Argus. Thank you very much for also chiming in with the sound. Looks like we got quite a few people watching today, which is a bit shocking because it's kind of a holiday and time frame and all that. But thank you for joining me live. It's always better. These things go a lot better when there's a bigger audience and an audience that is participating. So yeah, thanks for being on live. And let's go ahead and kind of, build the primary shapes of this thing. Going off of a Metal Gear Solid type of clothing boot here. That's the reference I'm looking at. And yeah, here we go. All right, let's run another zero mesh on this thing. And let's keep it the same. I don't need to go down in resolution. Let's see what that gave us. It's still kind of giving us some weird geometry. Kind of wish that this would be mirrored on the other side, but I don't think it'll do it. I might be able to do it with one boot, and then let's see. Let's let it kind of, you know, one of the new things that they added in 2023 was the ability to continue to retry the zero meshes. So I'm just going to rotate it this way so I can see this side, and then zero mesh it again and continue to retry until it gets me what I want. Here we go. It's getting closer. Still not what I want. I guess this is kind of evening it out. Okay, so we'll just kind of go with this. And for some reason it added more geometry, so I'm just going to do it at half one more time just to kind of reduce the geometry. And the flow looks okay. I'm going to do a few more retries here. I guess this would be a good angle to do those retries at. Get it resituated here. All right. Go, and here we go one more time. I keep doing half, which is not what I intend to do, so let me back out a bit here. Kind of like this level of detail, and I think this is okay. There's a pole in the inside part, but that's fine. And then let me just kind of get it to conform here. And again, this is just kind of the base kind of primary shape of it. It looks horrible at the moment, but that's okay. And then one of the things that people don't do with shoes is they don't imagine, they don't put in as much of a sole to it as needed. So here I'm going to do that. Again, it's always good to do these from multiple angles. Again, I'm just determining volume here. Kind of a weird height for a boot. So let me just kind of, after I get this situated correctly, and again the toe area is going to be bigger. Let me get that fixed. Okay. Again, getting this primary shape to work initially is more important than anything else. And then I'm just going to go to my handy dandy Z Z modeler brush, and then let's delete some of these edge loops, poly loop, and, not that one. And let's see how much shorter we want these to be. We've got enough of kind of the clothing, so it's kind of working for us. Let's keep going here. One more. And maybe a couple more here, like so. All right, I think that's good. It's funny that the feet are showing up, so I'm going to bring this clothing part out a bit. Here we go. There. Okay. And back to this. All right. So what's going on? What's going on? You guys are being a bit quiet, which is fine. And again, once I determine kind of the volumes of this, I'll zero mesh it one more time just to kind of get topology to conform. Okay, let's do that. right now. Same zero mesh it. Getting there. People are like, happy holidays. I didn't really want to watch hard surface is not a boot, but a boot is hard surface. I mean, it could be sci-fi boot. All right, so let's do this one more time. Okay, that's looking a little bit better topology wise. I'm still not liking these two poles over here. So let's try getting rid of them. All right, that's actually much better right there. Okay. And these are kind of topology tricks that you learn along, in time just by doing retopology and all right. So next thing I want to do is do a clip curve here. Smack that down. Okay, so that's kind of a good base. Let's kind of see if it has the basic foot shape, and of course, see, it doesn't. So what I'm going to do here is conform this part. And basically, you kind of want to imagine a foot in here. So, this part kind of goes in a little bit. This one goes in a little bit more than this one. All right, so it's starting to come together. Don't know why it decided to get rid of volume over here. All right, another thing you can also do is you can use the inflate brush, which I'm going to do here, to just inflate certain parts. And deflate others. All right, so we've got kind of the basics of it down. So I'm going to do that thing again with creating kind of enough of a heel down here, like that. And then let's hit it with another zero mesh. All right, so that's, I think, good enough, just kind of for a basic starting point. And we will just kind of start from there. And the creature one. Okay, Aragus, hey, good evening. And yeah, thanks. I think this is what you're talking about, and I guess this would be a good time to talk about all that good stuff. So let me find my browser window where it has it all. Ooh, where are you? Here we go. So I think you are talking about, by the way, best place to kind of get connected with me is on Instagram. So if you go to Instagram/Kermaco, or @Kermaco is my Instagram name. Here's the threads one. But there's a link tree that I have. And if you click on my link tree, it gives you all the other links. So I don't know why this is taking a bit of a time to load here. Hello. Okay, here we go. And then if you go to portfolio, it goes to my portfolio. And I think you went to character design here on top. And the Batman, this is the one you're talking about. Oh man, this is so old. This is like, I don't know, 2000 and I want to say 2010 maybe? Yeah, it's pretty old. That's when I was learning how to do toon shading in ZBrush. So this is toon shaded in ZBrush. Yeah, and I did quite a few renders of this at the time. I think it was with an earlier version of Keyshot too. So yeah, thanks. And then and the creature one, I don't know which creature you're talking about, but maybe this lion. Yeah, this was actually from a ZBrush Sculpt Off that I participated in, and this was before it was online. It was live, and I won third place for this. So yeah. So anyway, that's kind of where my portfolio is. So again, go to my Instagram, go to the link tree, and you can connect up to my portfolio and my website, which is kermaco.com. Yeah, and I've got a blog too. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I've got quite a few blog posts in here. This is when I was experimenting with AI before I got bored of it. Yeah. As you can see, you know, the bad thing about AI is you can generate a million images, but you know, you scroll through that and then you can kind of see some of my projects. You can see a lot more of my work here, as well as some photography things that I've done. So there's quite a bit of stuff here that you might not know about. So I highly recommend. This is all done in ZBrush, rendered in Keyshot. So this was a mech that I was working on, kind of like a meteor destroying mech on a planet where it doesn't have an atmosphere. So it needs to destroy the meteors before they hit you know, mining operations and things like that. Anyway, and I was experimenting with surfaces on this. So there's a lot of good stuff. Here's kind of the basic shapes of that mech and how I developed it. There's a lot of kind of making of stuff in here. So my blog is pretty neat. Here's some magazine articles I've been in, etc., etc. And again, photography. This was a spider. I was doing some macro photography with it. It's one of those daddy long legs, some flowers, etc. So there's a lot of good stuff here. Definitely check out the blog as well as the webpage. Also, if you guys like what I'm doing, you can find out more about my workflow from beginning to end. I've got a Gnomon workshop, designing a piloted combat mech, and that thing goes, it's about 19 chapters and goes through pretty much in depth and shows you my entire process beginning to end. So I would invite you to check that out as well. And of course, if you want to see previous streams of mine, you can go to the Maxon ZBrush. They finally changed the name from Pixelogic to Maxon. So you can go to the Maxon ZBrush YouTube page, and then if you click on live, you can see all of my older streams and, you know, the progress of what we're working on. You can see here, this was the one before, and then you can kind of continue to go back until the beginning of this one. And then if you continue to go, you know, look for my name, I've done, this is season, what season is it, 8 or 9? I've done quite a few of these over the years, so you can kind of see some of my older stuff. And I've done vehicles, I've done mechs, I've done spaceships. So depending on kind of what your interest is, you can find some streams on there. And also, in addition to mine, you can also maybe find some other streamers that might strike your interest. We keep this channel pretty busy with cool ZBrush stuff. And yeah, so definitely check it out. All right, now after that bit of a diversion, we'll get back to work here. All right, so I think I've got the basic shapes of the boot here. Now it's time to start kind of breaking it up into different parts. So let me just give it one subdivision level here, just to kind of see how that's dividing up. And it's dividing up pretty good. These are pretty chunky boots. I'm gonna maybe make them just a little bit smaller. And you can see here I'm spending a lot of time, and this is something I can't stress enough with my students. Let me solo these out. Is that, you know, it's better to spend a lot of time kind of getting the basic shapes right in the beginning, instead of like getting into details right away and then kind of finding out that it's not working and then having to go back and redo a lot of kind of tedious work. So yeah, it's a good idea to spend as much time as you can early on in the process to just make sure your basic shapes are working. And again, here it's just, you know, this is the design part of what I do, which is kind of figuring out a shape that works. Of course, it's got to look right, but in addition to that, it also has to, you know, be correct in a way, if that made sense. All right. Again, it's always good to look at your model from different angles just to make sure what you got is right. I'm going to delete that higher subdivision level that I added and try a few more zero meshes here just to get the topology to be what I want. Of course, I can retopo this, and there are, ZBrush has great retopo tools. Whether you're an old-time user and you want to do Z-sphere retopology, or if you want to use the extrude method with ZModeler, which is kind of my preferred way of doing it now, you can retopo this very nicely. But ZRemesher does a decent enough job, and I think I'll try and do it a few more times here just to see if I can get something better. I'm kind of not liking this. This is what I'm trying to get rid of. Just a little knot over here. So let's try this one more time. It wants to keep it. I wonder what I can do here to get rid of it. It just wants to keep it there. Stop texting me, people. All right, well, it kind of moved it to the bottom here, so I think we're good. And then it's kind of chunky over here, and I'm just going to choose a different polygroup color here. I think this is doing okay. I think this will work. Kind of looks twisted up here. It's always good to look at these things with perspective on too, just to kind of get an idea of if it's looking right or not. I just got reminded of I don't know if you guys, anybody here has seen the movie Best in Show, which is about which is funnily enough about dogs and a dog show. When they kind of grade the dogs and who wins the best of show of the dogs. And there's this guy in it that has 2 left feet, and it's kind of reminding me of his shoes. If you guys haven't seen that movie, it's really funny. Classic. Same people that did they've done quite a few of these types of movies, but I think Best in Show is one of my favorites. But they've also done the rock and roll one, which I guess they're going to do a reboot of it, or a sequel to it. For some reason I can't think of the name of it. If anybody thinks about it, let me know in the chat. But it's it's going to bug me if I don't remember it. Okay, let's bring up the rest of the foot. Oh, we've kind of moved this thing. So I don't really care. See, the foot inside is kind of is protruding, but I don't really care about that if the boot works. I can always kind of tuck that in. I'm just using smooth here to smooth it, just to bring it in. And I can just move it in a bit with the move brush too. Same with this area. All right. What was the name of that movie? It's kind of like a 86 style. I don't know what you're saying. It's the name of a band. The name of the movie is the name of the band, and it's just a kind of a parody on a rock band. God, what was it called? See, it's bugging me now. I gotta find out. All right, we'll just move this out of the way. Sorry about this big browser window that just popped up. Spinal Tap, that's what it's called. Spinal Tap, yep. I can't believe I forgot that name. But yeah, it's pretty funny. So anyway, the same people do Best in Show, and in that movie there's a guy that has 2 left feet, so like he's got 2 shoes that are exactly the same. And of course his dog is the one that wins. Spoiler alert. Although, like, that's not really the whole point of the movie. It's just kind of the characters. I'm just remembering a lot of things from that show. All right. So I think we're pretty close here to being done with this part. All right, so now I'm just gonna divide it a couple of times and then go in and bring in, I keep hitting the mouse button that brings up my radial menu, but I forget that I don't have that yet on the Sense Labs display. They said they were going to do it at some point, so hopefully soon. All right, so here I'm just kind of creating an outline of the sole of the boot. And again, I want to be really kind of rough with this. Don't want to get too much into the details just yet. Just to kind of get an idea of what this is going to look like, which is going to be something like this. And I don't like this angle over here, so I'm just going to try and bring that more to a a good friend that used to work at Pixelogic, and he left, but he teaches at Art Center, and he teaches industrial design, and he teaches ZBrush for industrial design, and he teaches them how to make, how to design boots with ZBrush. I'm going to choose a different color for this guy too. Like let's see, I'll choose one of the colors in the scene. Let's choose this kind of darker color over here. Fill object, it's RGB on. It's not RGB fill object. And let's go back to that. Here we go. Maybe that's a little too dark. Maybe let's choose this kind of lighter gray color. How about this one? Fill object. Better. Okay. And I'm going to do a dynamic subdiv on this guy, and not smoothness, but let's add some thickness to it, just so we kind of have a idea of how thick it is. A little bit more than that, maybe that's too much. Maybe something like this. Now, adding thickness basically inflates it, so I'm going to do a reverse inflate on it. So that brings it back closer to the foot, but also create some funky, oh, is that just what's underneath? It's showing through. I think this is just kind of some self-intersection that just happened. And what I can do with this is just bring it down in subdivision level, fix it in the lower subdivision levels, and that should fix it as I go up in subdivision levels. Yep, mostly did. Just for that one part it didn't. Okay, let's turn RGB back off. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of thickness here that I could work with, and then once I'm done making it, I can just apply this thickness and then delete the inside polygroup because I don't really need all that geometry taking up resources, but I'll have this kind of lip over here that I can use. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to separate out this area that I just did. I'm going to drop this down to subdivision level 2, delete the higher subdivision level, and just start masking. And let me choose my mask here. I wonder if it's in the brushes. Brush menu, AK mask, there it is. Oh, I guess it didn't give me that warning that it usually does, but it's because I had ZBrush on for a while. I should save in a few minutes. I've done quite a bit of work here that I don't want to lose. Here's that inside part of the foot protruding. Let's move that in. Okay, go back to this. Oops. continue to mask. The weird thing with this mask is somehow it's doing a funky thing with the screen where it pixelates it. I don't know why. You can kind of see this line over here. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah. I'm using ZBrush 2024, by the way. I did upgrade to the latest and greatest. If you guys didn't get a chance to, I highly recommend you watch the season, I want to say the year kind of in review, or I don't know what exactly they called it, but they showed all the new things that they've added in the last year, which is kind of cool. All right, Spinal Tap. That's right, Casey. I don't know if you came up with it before I found it, but yeah, Spinal Tap is classic. So good. But Best in Show, if you haven't checked out Best in Show, it's the same people that do a dog show. It's definitely worth watching. God, some of the characters in that show are amazing. All right, I'm going to switch to basic material here because I'm getting a little bit too much glistening stuff, and this is not metal. It's actually kind of more of like rubber and me leather. I'm going to switch this out, reverse it, do this. Just going to figure out a good shape for it. And I think that looks good. Let's kind of look at it overall. I don't want it to be too big. Okay, one thing that I see is, oops, didn't want to get rid of that mask. Just want to make this part maybe not so far out. It's always good to kind of do this every once in a while, just kind of see how it fits with the rest of the dude. Yeah, looks like it's working out okay. All right, that's good. So now what I want to do is with this mask part, I just want to separate it out. So again, I'm going to use Extract Plus or Pro Plus or whatever it's called. Extract Pro Plus, and then that does that. Bam, 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 bam. And that should give me a new tool, which is this one right here. Turn double on, see the inside. It just gives me this, and I just want to separate that out, which it has done for me. And this will be good because when I render, this will be a separate piece as well. Ooh, missed a piece over there. That's not good. All right, so what we're going to do is delete this. Go back to the boot. And mask that part too. Do it over. All right, here we go. There we go. Double. There it is. Do the same thing. Bring this out. Now it looks like this back part is really kind of big, and that knot over there is kind of dictating that geometry, which I'm really not too happy about. But you know what? We just have to deal with it. And I'll probably zero mesh this once after I'm done kind of figuring out the shape. So this is kind of going to be this sole area. That's kind of all one big piece. All right. Let's see, what's new? What's new? I saw Napoleon, which was really good. Man, battles were brutal in those days. Just lining up and firing muskets at each other. Yeah. I mean, not that wars aren't brutal all the time, but Yeah, it was all about cannons then, I guess. That was the thing. All right, so zero mesher again. I'm going to zero mesh it, same. Let's see what we get. It wants to keep this this knot over here. I don't know why. All right, let's just try going half. Try smoothing this area. Let's see if it gets rid of it and then bring it back. No, it just wants to keep that knot over there. I know how to get rid of it. So here I'm going to use a trick. It might work, it might not. Let's give it a try. I'm going to poly group, poly loop. Let's do this like that. Oh, look at this. See, like that's not what I want. I want the poly group to go right away, all the way around. So I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to select this part right here and group it, a different group. And then I'm going to use group loops. Let's just do 0 loops, but and maybe not as much polish. There we go. So now I've got that bottom part grouped differently, and I'm going to go in here and say polygroup a single poly, pick the polygroup off of this, and just do these ones. So I just kind of have that straight line over there. It looks like this is kind of okay. How about here? I guess it's good. It'd be nice to get all this. Now, another way I can do this, if I don't want to do one by one, is hold Alt and just do. Let's see if this works. Does 1, 2, or why am I doing this with a? Let's see if it works with a pen. Nope. All right. I guess I'll just have to do it one by. Oh, what the hell? I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna see if this works. So here, go here, zero mesher, say keep groups. Let's keep the same and do that. Here we go. A little bit better, not much. I still have this little kind of thing over here, but the topology is flowing the way I want it to. One more time. One more. And let's do this. I don't know if there's a way to resolve this one kind of thing here. I'm going to try this, topology trick, see if it works. I'm just going to go ahead and stitch this to this, or actually this one, oops, to this. So it kind of flows down, and let's see if that does it. Yep, there we go. That did it. Yeah, I mean, these are kind of the things where, people say, can I learn ZBrush, and how long does it take to learn ZBrush and whatnot? I mean, you can learn ZBrush, but, you got to learn about topology too, and that's a whole other thing. And maybe ZBrush is not the best way to learn about topology, but you definitely need to know topology to be able to do some of the things I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to add some thickness here to this. There we go. Again, let's look at the overall. That's looking good. Kind of like moon boots almost. All right. Still, this is one of the quietest group of people watching that I've had in a long time. Everybody just have a wild ass week. See, besides Napoleon, what did I watch? I'm enjoying the new season of Fargo. That's pretty intense. Reduce this thickness a bit to about there. And I'm going to work on the boot just a little bit more, and then I'm going to move on to some of the upper parts and then come back and visit it. I tell my students this all the time, is that, like, you know, don't work on the same area for a very long time. If you jump around, it makes the work a lot easier. All right, so that's what the boots are going to look like, and that's good. I'll probably do some cloth simulation to kind of have these kind of flow around and into it. But let's move on to another section for a little bit. Before I do that, let me save this because I did quite a bit of work. People are like, I tuned into this thing because it was hard, it said hard surface, and he's making a boot. What's going on? All right, let's see. I kind of wanted to work on this piece a little bit. Just have thickness. It does. Maybe add a little bit more to it. The thickness is going in the wrong direction. Let's go this way a little bit like that. Let's see what this looks like now. I think maybe put the offset at the center. No. The hell? Okay, let's do it this way. What is going on? All right. I think that's what I want. Let's apply this, and let's do a bit of smoothing on these harsh corners. Once again, really nice working with a pen display doing these things. This is kind of where it really makes a big difference. All right, man, still nothing in the chat. Oh, there was a Gundam movie trailer. I don't know if anybody saw that. That was pretty neat. Animated. Layout looked good. All right. So this is kind of like a piece over here that just kind of maybe has some readouts or an emblem or something like that. I haven't really decided yet what the purpose of it is. Turn AccuCurve on here just to kind of get some nice tight angles. If I like this angle right here, I'm going to get rid of it. It really stuck out from its base. And also, like this area over here, I kind of need to redo, so I'm going to do that now. Let's jump over to that. So here I'm just kind of establishing shape of this. I probably have something go inside of this. Have not decided yet, so let's go to Damien Standard here. still trying to find a shape that would fit in here that would work. I think that's good. All right, so let's peel off a piece in here. Pro. All right, so with these guys, I want them to be flat, so I'm just going to use this gizmo to flatten them out. And do I have symmetry on? I do. I probably should turn on local symmetry. Yeah, that's what I want right there. And then I'm just going to zero mesh these down even further than that, just so I get like some low poly objects. And then let's just unsolo this and find those angles using move. Anybody have any questions as to what I'm doing or why I'm doing what I'm doing, or this reminds me of when I was when I teach. Sometimes the students come in and you know, it's right after a holiday, or you know, or they were out partying at night or whatever, and they're just zombies and they're just really quiet. This is bringing back some memories of those days. All right, now I'm just going to do some group loops around here just to add some edge loops. Let's add one edge loop. Oh, not partish, just edge loop. No, I G-polish, the default is 50, like maybe, yeah. Here we go, and then let's just zero mesh this. Let's not keep the groove, so zero mesh it, so we kind of get a little bit of a harder edge. So there's kind of the shape that I want in there. And then maybe this one kind of goes out this way. Right, so basically this piece right here just, you know, detaches. So the way this kind of harness detaches is that, you know, these are the two clasps, so he just kind of pulls them down. And then they come off, and then I don't know what the point of these ones are, but maybe it's to detach the center part. It's always interesting to figure out what the function of things are in what I do. Use H-polish here just to straighten this out. And again, this is just doesn't really have thickness, so the thickness is just added with dynamic subdiv, and then once we're happy with what we've got, we'll accept the shape. And I keep using my hotkeys to go to the move brush because, again, I don't have my radial thing. I mean, I put all my brushes that I use all the time here. Last time I showed how to customize the UI to do that. But I'm still kind of missing that radial menu. I'll probably say that like 5 more times. All right. Still all quiet on the chat front. Let's do one more zero mesh here. All right, so now I'm just gonna give this a subdivision level. Maybe let's just give it a flat subdivision level and then a smooth one. And let's start working on some details. Right. Just want to tighten up that corner. So you can almost kind of see the inside part of this, what's going on with this mess over here. So let's kind of undo the dynamic to see what the problem is, and I'm going to go down a subdivision level. Okay, here it is. It's these two kind of clashing with each other. Delete the higher subdivision levels, bring this out. Let's go back to here. This part's giving me a little bit of trouble, but not too much. I think the problem is with the design. Like, it'd be nice to just kind of have this go over. Maybe that's what I'll do. All right, let's try and do that. I'm going to see if I can connect these up. Turn symmetry off and bridge these together using ZModeler. Oh, it's on 2 holes. That's why. Edge, edge to edge, edge to edge. Sometimes you can do these from the inside as well. This is the kind of stuff that I, wish we could select faces and just do all the one more. And here we go. Okay. And then let me add an edge loop in. Actually, just mirror and weld will do it. Mirror and weld. Okay, and then let's add a couple of edge loops here. Insert. Do you have it where I want it? There, there. Okay, so now I just basically created this inside part that I'm going to pull back out to go over this part. And let's see if that kind of solves the design problem I'm dealing with. Let's turn symmetry back on. All right. And more people are joining. However, nobody's saying anything. For those of you that just joined, please do converse. Ask questions if you have them. You know, we all usually talk about sci-fi stuff, movies, shows, etc. ZBrush, what's going on with software? What's going on with AI? Man, I am kind of inundated with AI images. I gotta say, there's quite a few artists now, and I don't even know if I can call them artists, but there's just so many AI images, and the number of them seem to be going up. And it seems to be doing really well in some type of artwork. I still don't know how much of what it's producing is what the people are wanting, though. I think it's producing neat-looking stuff, but I don't know if it's what the author is intending on showing or doing. Does anybody work in production that sees it in your workflows? Because I know the last job I had, we used it in what we were doing. I'm gonna extract this down, extrude this down. But yeah, we had started to use it in what we were doing. Just initially, just to kind of get ideas. It's still, you know, that was like still Stable Diffusion, and I don't think Midjourney was even out yet. No, Midjourney was out. No, I remember using Midjourney. Yeah, I think towards the end there, I was starting to use Midjourney. Like the producers would be like, can you come up with like 5 concepts for this? And, you know, I'd start out generating a few AI images, and you know, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't what I wanted or what he wanted, but it gave us a good place to start. But I can't imagine like that being the only thing, like, you know, like just hiring people that just do that. Because once, you know, once it gets approved, then what, you know? No, it's kind of a neat shape here. I don't want to destroy it. So maybe make this a bit thinner. All right, let's see if we can apply no, let's not apply it yet. Yeah, let's apply it. Why not? But let's add some smooth. Let's add some flat subdivisions to it and apply. Should have done that before I apply it. Okay, let's go back. Before we apply it, okay. I'm thinking, what if this goes up as well? Above here. It's looking good. I might keep that design choice. All right, that's looking good. I think I'm happy with where it is. We're doing great on time, so we'll just continue on. And I'm wondering if I'm wondering if this thing is somehow there's a disruption or something else going on. Do a quick check here just to make sure all the settings are working with. Just looking to see if there's anything in the news or something like that that people kind of are distracted with, but no, it seems like everything's okay. All right, you guys are just a quiet group. It happens. It's all good. All right, I think, did I add subdivision levels to this? No. So again, there's this kind of jumbling over here, so I'm just going to zero mesh it once, maybe one more time. There we go. Ooh, that introduced something really interesting, which is this little notch over here, and I'm liking that. All right, so this kind of goes straight, this kind of goes this way. This kind of is getting to look more like a spine, kind of like a back of the spine kind of design, which people put in the front, which I don't really like. And I'll reduce the flat subdivisions here. All right, what if I'm going to hide this thing for a minute and just going to rethink that whole area. What if this goes over? I think I'm liking kind of what's going on with this, more or less, but I don't know if I want these two over here. Let's turn this back on. All right. I think that's going to have to do for now. And again, you know, just like I tell my students, if you're in an area that's kind of giving you a little bit of a headache, just move off to a different area and work on something else and then come back to it, and hopefully it'll figure itself out. So doing this kind of just added a little bit more, and I think I should also do is look at my reference to get some ideas of what to do there. All right, so let's kind of work a little bit on adding some things here for this kind of the elbows. So for that, I'm going to use some IMM brushes, and so BI, I'll just use the ones that come with ZBrush. How about this one right here? Let's see if I can find a thing that will work. This one's always a popular one. So is this one. Let's try doing this one right here. So I'm going to pop one this way. Not that big. Just go over to this and see if we can add it there. Nope. How about this? Nope. Let's pick that again. Let's go back to our brush. Okay, and what I want to do is I don't want it to be that thick. So I'm just going to reduce the thickness of it, put it over here, and maybe make it a little bit shorter. There. I just want another one on the other side. All right, so I'm just going to separate these out, split hidden. Kind of like the thickness on here, but I don't know if that's going to add geometry on the inside. And I kind of have to figure out how to connect these to the clothing, or just have like some sort of a thing that connects them up. Well, I'm just going to leave those there for now. All right. Okay, so I started the boots, I did that. Let's work on the hands a little bit. Oops. And also for that, I'm going to see if I can use an IMM brush. I think they have a monster one here. Let's see if there's a hand in there that is something I can use. There's some feet. See what this looks like. Oh, it's complaining. see what the topology on these things looks like. Oh, it's pretty horrible. Nope. I was kind of hoping to just use one in here, but I think I'm just going to have to stick with the ones that are here, which is fine. So let's go to it, and let's drop that down in subdivision level, and let's kind of get some good shape to it. And I might use the anchor brushes that are new in 2024 to position these in a better place. Right now, I want them to be symmetrical for now, so I don't think they are. And the way to do that is you just mask. Let's see, which one's better? I'm kind of thinking this one's a little bit better, so I'm going to go ahead and mask this one. Or actually, I'm going to use this trick of masking the one I want to change. Okay, so now I want this to be symmetric with this, but it's a topological symmetry, right? So in the deformation sub palette here, there's a way to do that, and that is Playly. Yes, finally somebody said something. Yes, it will be saved. All of these are saved. So if you go to the Maxon ZBrush channel on YouTube, so if you go here, sorry. Yep, so if you go here to this channel and click on live, all of the streams are saved here, right? So mine will show up over here. Oh, actually, it's happening now. So once it's over, then you can download it. All right, so 20 people are watching on YouTube. I don't know how many people are watching on Twitch, but quite a few people are on. I'm just really surprised as to how quiet you guys are, but that's fine. I mean, all right, let's see if this works. So Smart Resem. Nope. How about just, let's mask this part. Okay, so it has symmetry on. I'm going to turn symmetry off for a minute. Mask this as well, because I don't really want to change this one. And then turn symmetry back on. And let's just see, Smart Resem. Resem? That make them the same? I guess it did. All right, we're in business. Okay, so now I just need to bring everything back, and then let's start working on these hands. Just poke out a little bit of a bone over here. I'm not going to really worry about the clothing. I can always adjust that afterwards. I just want the hands to kind of work. So let's kind of create a palm over here. And again, this is kind of more of a, I mean, it's either a robotic hand, or I haven't decided if I'm going to put a glove on there or whatnot. But it's going to be, that looks okay. So I've got polygroups on here, so I'm going to separate the hands out so I can just work on them individually. Let's go ahead and do select rectangle here. I'm just, selecting all of the polygrouped hands here. And then I'll just invert it, and then I'll just have the hands like that. So then I can just basically see the hands. Which is a good idea because you kind of get an idea of what's working and what's not, and you don't have the body in the way. It's always good to kind of have your body polygrouped. This is starting out with a polygrouped kind of base mesh that I have. And if you don't have it polygrouped, you can always group it out yourself afterwards. But it's always good to have each finger polygrouped so you can, isolate it. And yeah. All right, I'm just going to use the inflate brush here to inflate some of these parts. And it's funny, AI didn't used to do fingers right when it first started, like it used to do horrible fingers and horrible hands. But I think they've figured that out. I don't know, though. I keep thinking like AI is going to be one of these things where people are going to be like, well, look at what it can do now. It didn't used to be able to do that before, and God knows what it's going to do next. It's going to be doing everything, and it's just going to be like they're going to hype it up and hype it up and hype it up, and then they're going to reach that point where it's not going to do anything anymore, and then they're going to be like, okay, this bubble is burst. Let's move on to the next thing, which I think is going to be quantum computing. I think that's what's coming next. So I wonder how long it'll take for the AI bubble to burst. And maybe it won't. Maybe it'll do the thing where people are saying it's going to take over humanity, and we're going to be like, like pets, basically. And AI is going to do all the heavy lifting. I don't know. Interesting problems to think about. But in today's world, you still need to, and here I'm just using the inflate brush to kind of create a little bit of the kind of the joints here. I'll go up in one subdivision level. My cat is getting creaky in her old age. Like she keeps making like these kind of creaky sounds, like I have to get up now. I don't know if they're coming through. Also, I've noticed that she's getting more and more jealous of my working. Like if I'm working, she kind of comes over and she's like, okay, enough work, time to pet me. She used to kind of come and jump up on the desk and whatever, but since I've gotten this pen display, that's what's taking up my desk space, so she has no room to come up here. Probably at some point we'll get a different desk setup, but for now I just have a nice arm that this thing is on. And all right, so you guys can see what I'm doing here is just little by little, just one subdivision level at a time, adding a little bit more detail to the pads of the hand, and I'll probably go up one more subdivision level here. But let's see what that looks like with the whole body. I mean, obviously, it's not a humanoid type of creature, so, I mean, the hands look a little bit longer than they're supposed to be, but that's okay. I think it's looking okay. Another thing I was kind of thinking about is, I've got a few characters. I've got that astronaut lady that I did another season or whatever, so maybe, like, these are the crew of some sort of a space team. So it'll be fun to do a composition with all of them. Maybe that was my plan all along. Right, I think the hands are looking okay. Let me see if I can kind of get a little bit more of a gesture on them. So I'm going to solo it out again. Oh, not that. And let's do some, let's kind of curl in these fingers over here using that anchor brush that they just added, which basically, again, it's just one of those things where like you always go like, well, how did I even get along without using that? It was really hard, to mask, and hands used to be kind of a tough thing to do, but with the anchor brush, it's a dream come true. Here it is, anchors. Did I put that in my menu yet? No. It should be in this set. So I either have to create a whole other line for this, it's got enough already, or I need to remove something that I don't use much. Man, I use all these, I wonder which one I can remove. I'll find something. All right, but for now, let's just use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rotate one. So that's the one that's chosen. And let's just pick starting point. And with fingers, it's better to just kind of do the big kind of parts first. What is going on? Did I do this wrong? Let's try this one more time. So starting point and ending point. Maybe I'm doing the orient. Let's do it this way. Here we go. All right, so I'm just going to curl this in a bit, like that. Move this. Something like that. That was pretty cool. Right, do this one. All right, and then just maybe add a little bit of the knobbiness of the all right, let's see what that did to the fingers. I'm going to do that with the thumb soon too. That's a bit too much, I think. All right, let's do the thumb first. Actually, this is not too bad in the back over here. But I kind of want to do the thumb here, so let's go back to the anchor brush. Nope. I think I'm doing the order of these wrong. It's kind of a new feature, so I'm still kind of getting used to it. Okay, so the one you're nearest to is the one that gets changed in. It's really kind of, I mean, if you look at this finger over here, it's really creepy to kind of see. It almost looks like it's really moving. All right, and then I want to bring this whole part in. Let's see if it does that well. It's here to here. Yeah, if you look at it on this side, it almost looks like it's real. It's creepy in a good way. All right, so it's going to be the thumb, like that. Ooh, I totally messed it up. It's better the way it was before. All right, maybe don't mess with well enough. Leave well enough alone, as they say. All right. It'll be a while for me to kind of get this used to how this works and get it into my workflow, but it's getting there. All right, I think that's good for the hands for now. It looks good. It works with the body. While I'm here, I just want to fix this kind of shoe area. I mean, the feet aren't going to show, so I'm just going to kind of reduce this down to that. All right, let's jump back and do some more work on the shoes here. Get my reference going on that. All right. Ricardo's saying, I think is camera base. Oh, are you talking about the anchor brush is camera based? Ricardo? All right, let's let this autosave. Good time to take a short little break. Ricardo, were you saying that the anchor brush is camera based? I don't think so. I think it's just based on those points. And also another thing that they've added, by the way, is this masking capability, which I don't know if you guys know about. But again, it's just another one of those things like, you know, why wasn't it there before? But like if I just want to move this finger, like if I hold Control down and click and drag, I think I'm on another subtool. Let me get back to the body here. So yeah, so if I click, make sure I'm on this transfer. If I click and, you know, so when you control click, you know, you mask, right? So what they've added is, let me go back to the normal masking here. Mask lasso, where's the mask pen? Mask pen. Okay, so if you click and drag, right, you basically mask out from where you are. I don't know why it's not working. Let's try this one more time. That's weird. It almost is masking like there's an alpha. That gives it out of the way. Yeah, so if you click and mask out, yeah, something is not right. I don't know what's going on with it. Because I mean, when you click and mask, it masks out from that area, but I don't know why it's not masking the area above. I probably have a setting not correct. But the thing I was going to show you is how you can, this can go to the center of an area. So let's try again. So it's kind of working from this area on down, but I don't know why it's not masking the part above. Let's go see here. I'm just going to check one quick thing. Maybe I'm not using, I think there's two transposes and I think I'm not on the right transpose. So now BG transpose, there's transpose and then transpose standard or classic. Let me go to the classic, see if that does it. Yeah, see, classic does it. So you see how you start in a certain place and then you start masking out, right? But if you go outside, then it will place your yeah, this is something, and then let go of control. I have to learn this again. I have to watch the videos to figure it out again. But basically, when you let go, it just brings the gizmo to the center of the masked area. Anyway. Right, so I've got Hannibal Z Sculptor saying, hey, did you brush the test roll last week? I've been going crazy trying to find and or the brush. Yeah, Ricardo. I think there's two transposes now. There's the classic one here. So there's transpose and there's transpose classic, and the new transpose does masking kind of a little bit differently. I think start from where you want to start masking, and then you go down from there. But I don't know, and it kind of does it in a gradated way. But yeah, I'll have to figure out. I think I might have some settings that are not right. But when you're talking about the Thomas Whittlebach clay buildup brush. Does he have a clay buildup that he uses, or I think he does different settings to it, so they're different. So I don't know if I know what you're talking about. But yeah, this is a normal clay buildup, but I think he does something where he changes a few things in it. And I actually have that brush somewhere. But yeah, it's been a while, so I don't remember. Sorry. As I've got this brush here, kind of. And I don't want to do too much work on the hands because, you know, they're just going to show maybe from, like, let's say this distance. You know, I don't want to add too many details. But since I've got clay buildup up, let's get that clay buildup up twice. I'll just kind of do a little bit of sculpting on here just to kind of accentuate some of these. Tertiary details of the hand, and then also I'll make this part a little bit thinner. Just sew this out, and again, I'm going to isolate the hand here. This is another way to do it. I did it one way where I did the polygroups earlier, but this is just another way of doing the same thing. And what I want to do is I want to make this part here thinner. I'm just digging into it. There. All right. I've got a nice alpha that will do these kind of knuckly areas. I'll use that when we do the kind of the tertiary details. We're still kind of chipping away at the secondary details here on this. All right, we just jump back into the hand. Let's jump back up to the boot here, select it. All right, I think I did give this thing some thickness. I did, yep. All right, let's accept that. And let's give it a subdivision level, and let's start kind of working this thing in. Let's make sure, oops, bottom is still flat. Okay. All right, that's good. One more subdivision level. And then I'm going to go to Damien Standard and start kind of carving in just a bit of a line over here. And again, the pen display makes this type of work a lot easier. And to get these straight lines, I'm holding down Shift. probably going to need a little bit more resolution there over the toes. I'm just kind of creating this little bit of outline over here, and a little bit of an angle over here, harsher angle. I've got AccuCurve on. So I have a question for you guys. Let's see if we can get somebody to respond to this. But for learning new features of ZBrush, like what's your go-to method of learning them? Do you watch the Maxon presentation? Do you look at Michael Pavlovich's videos? Like, what's your kind of way of catching up to new features? I find myself watching Michael's videos after the fact, like, you know, like a year, and if I forget, like, how do I do this? I usually watch his videos. They're usually very helpful. And I think he just completely reorganized them too, which is neat. But I also find myself going to the launch videos to kind of see Paul and company do their part. Pavlovich at 0.5 speed. That's funny. He talks really fast, so I can see how you would slow it down. I think he did a whole bunch for the new features, but I haven't had the time to watch it. It's kind of interesting because I kind of have some downtime at work now because the project I'm working on, the software I'm working with, we discovered a bug, and so I know a workaround to the bug. It's not a ZBrush, by the way. It's a different software. I know a workaround to the bug, and you know, worst case scenario, I'm going to go with that. But you know, they kind of gave up. They kind of said, okay, yeah, just use your workaround. But then they came back and said, no, we're going to try and see if we can fix it. So I'm kind of waiting for them to do it. And if they do it, then great. If they don't, I have my workaround. So I'll move forward either way. It's just a matter of whether or not it'll be solved with their method or mine. All right, so you can see here I'm still doing a little bit of tweaking on the shoe, but it's kind of slowly coming together. And once I have that primary form worked out, you'll see that the rest of it will kind of fall in pretty nicely. All right, so we put these shoulder things in. Let's see what other things we can do here. So let's see, I've got one more stream for this year, I think, and then we'll move into next year. So I think this character will move into next year. Probably finish it up in January, February at the latest, I hope. Okay. All right, so now I'm kind of going to do some other detail work on the shoe. So I'm going to have something that kind of goes across this way. So I'm going to go back to this one. And do I have subdivisions? I do. Good. Let's go up in subdivision levels. And I'm going to use my mask, which is over here. And I want to have something that kind of goes across this way, maybe not as thick. Okay, this is really strange. So when I mask, it's masking this way, but when I invert the mask, it's doing this thing, which I don't know what that is. So I might have, I might have done something where I changed a setting that I don't know how to get back out of. Yeah, because that should erase the mask. Maybe RGB's on. Is that what it is? Yeah, RGB's on with mask. No, this is so weird. All right, well, I think this will work. Right, so let's do that. Let's go in here and extract pro. There it is, solo. It's these bands over here, and of course I don't need this much topology, so I'm going to zero mesh them down. To maybe about there. And what's nice is it gave me a nice edge loop around it, so I can get rid of this polygon and this one. Oh, am I still in extrude? I am. For edge, I'm going to say do nothing. Delete a poly, delete a poly. Why is it deleting this one? Okay. And I think this edge loop goes all the way around, so delete poly loop. That one's gone, and this inside part is what I want. Perfect. Solo out. Of course, I could have done this a lot easier with just doing the retopo part, but that's fine. And then let's give it some thickness, dynamic, no smoothing, but thickness, more. No segments, but let's offset it in that direction so we don't need that much thickness. So there's that part. So it's going to be kind of like a strap that goes this way. And then I'm going to have another one of these on top. So I'm just going to duplicate it. And I'm using control here with the gizmo just to create a copy of it. And I mean, it's close enough where I don't really need to mask and extract. I'm going to have another one of those over there. And again, these are dynamically subdivided, so I don't, the thickness is just arbitrary for now. I can deal with that later. So I got one of those that way, and then I'm going to do one more. Again, with control with the gizmo, which will mask the other two and just give me this one. And move that into place over here. Oh, I watched something really interesting. I was going to talk about it, and I totally forgot, so now I can talk about it. But I don't know if you guys watched the Video Game Awards last night, but Kojima has a new game that's coming out, like a horror game, and he had some really interesting kind of meta-shape or meta-human type of things happening with characters saying stuff and whatnot, which was really neat. He's got Udo Kier and a couple of other actresses. And they look pretty realistic. The Uncanny Valley is still there. But I wonder if the game's going to be any good. One thing about Kojima games is like always get excited about them. But then, I mean, I like Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid gameplay was good, but this, the last game that he came out with, I mean, the gameplay was good, but it gets repetitious. I mean, it's beautiful, for sure. And so it's kind of worth playing just to kind of see the views and see the great artwork that they did. But as far as gameplay is concerned, it still was like, Anybody playing any good games lately that are good? I've been playing some Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3. It's been fun. The campaign was, meh. It wasn't like that great. I think they can do so much more with that story in those games. They just have like kind of stupid macho characters doing macho things, but it'd be nice to kind of get some really serious writers on it and get some great storylines. Then I got the new, let's see, also got the new mech game. What's it called? Not Front Mission, but what's it called? It's over here. Fires of Rubicon. That was kind of underwhelming as well. Man, the mech designs in those games used to be so much better, and the art books used to be killer too. In this one, it's kind of like an afterthought. I don't think games are spending as much money on design anymore. They just want to get the games out. Like, people have bought the old version, they'll buy this version. I wonder how many times they can do that before like people stop buying it, and then they're like, okay, well, we need to do something different. I don't know though. Consoles were a big deal for a while, but I think now most of the gaming has moved to mobile. Like I think mobile games are kind of more of the thing. Mobile games and games that can be played without like expensive hardware. Like online games and whatnot. Which kind of sucks. Like there definitely was a golden age of console gaming where like, they used to spend a lot of money on art and design. I don't know if that's happening as much now. All right. So again, the basics of these straps are there. And then I'm going to have like this kind of front piece over here. So let's do that. Sort this out. Again with the erasing of the mask, I just have to basically draw the mask right. No erasing, just drawing. I wonder if I switch to the normal mask, if that problem will go away. Oops. No, the normal mask has that problem too. That's so weird. I mean, let me see if I reset the brush. Like, is that it? Or let me see if I've got something here in auto masking. Auto mask, mesh insert. Let me reset the brush. Reset current brush. Okay. Yeah, somehow it's doing some sort of coloring. I have a setting that I inadvertently probably pressed a key or something to mess it up. All right, I'm going to redo this. I'm just going to try and do it. And it's kind of hard to do because I've got that thing where the weird screen anomalies happening. Maybe I've had this ZBrush session open for a week. which is kind of a good testament for how stable it is. Because, you know, I mean, usually ZBrush has crashes or whatever sometimes, but lately it's been pretty solid for me. I think the session's like been on for a week. I wonder if there's a way to tell, you know, I think some software, you know, there's something that says has been open for a certain amount of time. I know ZBrush has it. I'm just going to do this and hope that it is doing what I think it's doing. Just so strange. Let's see what happens with Extract Pro with this. Let me save first, just in case. Right, Extract Pro Plus. Yeah, now it's picking up the color. That is very weird. I'm kind of, you know, I was going to restart ZBrush, but we're kind of almost done with time anyway, so I'll probably restart and check it afterwards. But I'm kind of curious as to why that's happening. If I restart it and it doesn't happen, then it's probably, you know, like I said, I changed the setting or whatever. But if it does work, it does work. But anyway, we're kind of almost at time here. Yeah, so hopefully you guys learned some useful tricks and tips. Today was kind of, you know, a little bit of a frustrating session, but it happens. Just, you know, not everything is a straight line. But I want to thank you all for being on. Quite a few of you. Quiet, but still there and lurking. And just want to thank you for being on live. I appreciate it when you are on live. I know these are recorded and you can watch them after the fact. But it's great when you are on live, and it's great when you ask questions and are more interactive. But I also understand that sometimes maybe you're doing other stuff, and that's great. But again, thank you very much. And wherever you are, hope you're having a good day, a good evening, good night, whatever. And happy